Hello and welcome everybody to the final match of the main season. This is week 10 of the PCPL versus MrMag. This is potentially the worst matchup that I think I have in this entire league. This is the team right here. Lycanroc Dusk specifically hits my entire team for monstrous damage. I actually do not think I have a single thing that is a reliable check into it, other than, you know, like the occasional max defense Belly Bolt Shaman, potentially Latias if it's like Terra Fighting instead of Terra Rock, and then it doesn't have Crunch or something like that. It's a very weird position there where like I have the resources to check it, but will I? Probably not, because it's just like it begs for too much. Overall, I don't think my team is too bad for this. You will notice with my Overqwil here, I actually have a very funky set with Acupressure Crunch. To be completely honest with you, I do not know if they consider Acupressure to be legal. So in this game, I do bring it. However, I was told after the fact that Acupressure is not a legal move anymore, because it does have the ability to increase evasion. Now in the rules specifically, it didn't say anything about it. It said minimize double team and any accuracy lowering move is illegal, but Acupressure was ignored. So I thought that was part of the RNG mechanic, is that, you know, you're not guaranteed an evasion boost. And so, you know, I thought that was like the outlier, but apparently no longer allowed, which is completely understandable. So I will not be able to bring this set again. However, I did get to use it for this match, and you guys will see how it did. Now, I did have to make I was not able to record this on Wi-Fi, unfortunately. I believe he said his Nintendo Online subscription expired, so we just decided that we were going to do it on Showdown. So I'm going to do all of this in one big take. To start off, physically bulky Hatterene, mainly for the Lycanroc. If it does come in, I should be able to get a nuzzle off, and hopefully that makes it easier to check. It also just has, like, you know, relatively decent coverage for basically everything. It's all right at. Mystical Fire hits, Goldango, which is necessary, Weavile, Nuzzle's just going to paralyze actually everything, and then Drainicus is just reliable healing that will actually heal a considerable amount on everything other than Pheasantipity. And no, really it's just Pheasantipity. This Acupressure Overqwil set with Sleep Talk, Rest, Crunch, and Acupressure, of course, is actually crazy into his entire team. I mean, it's going to be like a pretty crazy thing. The real main reason is that his team kind of struggles with any sort of boosters that it can't like deal with in any way. I don't believe he has like haze or anything like that, which is, you know, it's obviously going to be beneficial to me. I might miss something, but it's very hard for him to beat it. He has to both, you know, if I get those evasion boosts, he has to hit me and he has to crit, because it's also able to raise my defenses. It's actually crazy. Then we move on to a Heat Choice Scarf King Gambit, which isn't actually so bad into his entire team. Like, it outspeeds Pheasantipity by 1 point, which is incredible. That Ironhead's going to hit very hard. He's not going to expect it. He more than likely will switch out, but if he's weakened, or if, you know, if I'm weakened enough, they'll be like, oh, maybe I can Heat Wave or Moonblast and take it out from that range. But nope, Ironhead will always take it out from any range that it's at. Couch Out Cleave is also just a really phenomenal move into basically everything. I mean, I'll outspeed Goldango as well, which is pretty incredible. They will not, more than likely not expect it to outspeed. They might, you know, anticipate the Sucker Punch, but also if they switch, then at least I know I can hit them with the Kowtow. If they Nasty Plot, then they die, you know, like I don't have to really risk about so many games. Sucker Punch is mainly for things that are actually faster than me, primarily the Lycanroc, because there is a chance he goes Terra Rock instead of Terra Fighting, and then even if he goes Terra Fighting, I get like 40% off of it or something like that. Then we have a physically defensive Rocky Helmet Belly Bolt that's also intended to not check the Lycanroc, but at least check Sash variants of Lycanroc. Really the main problem with that Lycanroc is that it does have the ability to terrestrialize. If it didn't have that ability, I am more than capable of surviving hits from it. In fact, Latias is an incredibly good switch into it. Best one is definitely like a Terra Water, Terra Dragon Belly Bolt set that can come in and slack off hits from it every single time, so it can't reliably come back in. Have, you know, necessary moves for the Swampert. Like, I would be able to fit Toxic in that case, but I don't think I can do that anymore because I need Chilling Water, I think. And then obviously I have Static, so that hopefully I can paralyze it, which makes it obviously easier to deal with. We have Rotom here with Overheat, Discharge, Substitute, and Will-O-Wisp. You might notice I have 3 substitute users on this team, which is, you know, it's mainly because of the threat of Lycanroc, and maybe I overprepped a little bit, but I don't think I was I don't think I underestimated it, at least. Overheat, Discharge, Substitute, Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is good to any physical attacker barring a Facade on Snorlax. Substitute obviously means I can stay in for one more turn and potentially get a parry with Discharge, or I can guarantee that he cannot kill me and I can get an Overheat off, which is just a very powerful move. Unfortunately, Snorlax is an incredibly good switch into Rotom, but there's not a great way for me to stop that besides throwing on Pain Split. And then finally, of course, we have Seed Flare Shaman, which with Leech Seed, Earth Power, and Substitute. The main idea here is that Swampert is a pretty likely lead, so I could probably lead into Swampert, Substitute up, either it stays in and gets hit by a Seed Flare next turn, or he switches out into something like a Namorous with Contrary to ignore the Seed Flare boosts, or even double its Spadef. So I can get that Substitute off, and then I can get the Leech Seed, and then the rest is just general coverage and enough strength to 2-hit KO certain things after various chip. So yeah, that's the team, and now we're gonna skip directly to the battle. Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be the battle part of this video. So as I said, this is we did unfortunately have to play on Showdown, and it has been a little bit since we played this game, so I'm not super familiar and don't remember exactly what all my plays were, but we can watch it again for ourselves, and I can try and be as insightful as I was into how I played, and you'll see how the game went. So to start off, he leads with Swampert and I go Shaman. My first thought is obviously he switches out so I can easily get a reliable substitute up. Now I think in this scenario I'd probably just get a Leech Seed off because he more than likely gets those rocks up. Slowly chipping this thing down is going to be very valuable in the future. I believe here I Seed Flare. If I got that drop there, this next Seed Flare would have done like 54%, so he would not have been able to reliably stay in anymore. So I guess I did get it. So I'm assuming he switches back out again into Earthworm. So Seed Flare here, and I guess this was his plan, is that he had 2 good resists into Shaman, so he can, go into one. Then if I get the drop, he can go into another again. The problem with that is I guess they're more likely to get chipped down. Seed Flare is a very powerful move either way. Like there, this is obviously Spadef Earthworm taking 21% from that Seed Flare. Very, very bulky. And then obviously this Body Press is not going to take out the substitute because of that reason. This thing's getting chipped down very heavily, so that's going to be very valuable. Here I probably should have just substituted it again. I honestly don't know why I didn't. So he goes back into a Namorous. Maybe the reason I didn't do that is because I didn't see the first Body Press broke my sub. Don't exactly know why I didn't substitute there. So here I'm assuming I Leech Seed, trying to get chip off this thing. Reliable recovery is always nice, and now I can pretty safely go into Rotom Heat. Unfortunately, I did take Stealth Rocks because I didn't think he'd actually bring any, despite Earthworm being very good rock setter, Lycanroc being even a good one as well if it wants to be like a lead set. Now here, the problem here is that he's 100% Facade, and I can't rely on that because if he's Body Press, he'll still break my sub, and I can't, if I Discharge and paralyze him, I didn't really have a great move there. Luckily, Belly Bolt here is very decent at checking this, because I can Terrestrialize and I can just constantly slack off in front of it. He's going to constantly be taking chip damage from my Rocky Helmet. Obviously, he's going to be Rest, but we can't rely on that right now. So Sinister comes back in, takes a Chilling Water, which, you know, I guess I do reveal that move, but it's not like he would, you know, use it to his advantage very well anyways. So here I believe what I more than likely do is I just go King Gambit. I probably just go hard. I go hard Overqwil trying to set up in front of it. I guess I didn't want to get burned with Matcha Gotcha. Originally, I had a funny set with King Gambit that let me deal with Sinistra a little better. I think it was Lumberry, and then that Kowtow into it, and then, like, you know, you can't strength step because I had Defiant. It was something like that. So Overqwil going to try and get its acupressure boost. It's obviously speed, and I can't, you know, safely stay in on the Swampert's Earthquake, so I definitely switch out. He knocks off, which is interesting. So here I just substitute up again because there's nothing that Swampert can do to threaten me. I get my Leech Seed up, which means I can start slowly healing, and then I let Shaman go down. So that is the second death of the game. I go straight into Hatterene, predicting that I should be able to Calm Mind. Let me get back there real fast, my bad misclick. So I go into Hatterene. I thought I'd be able to Calm Mind. So here I would have taken roughly 50% if I didn't get crit there. So my Calm Mind should have been able to help me get, like, just help me live that second one. But obviously after the crit, there's no way I can live another one. So that was an unfortunate Calm Mind there. I probably should have just Drain Kissed and in hindsight, but I can't do that. Hindsight's 2020. Rotom should be okay here. If only Discharge was slightly stronger, it would have been, you know, probably the best thing I can do here. He obviously is going to show off Rest with Chestoberry. I believe here I probably just let Rotom go down. It looks like I'm just spamming Discharge, hoping to try and get like a Paralysis or something like that. I can totally substitute there. I guess there's not really a reason not to. I learned that Facade was doing 22%. So I mean, it'll break it again here, but it lets me get another Discharge off and Recovery. So Discharge getting the Paralysis in the end there means I should be able to reasonably go into Overqwil, I believe, and try and get that acupressure once again. Obviously he's intimidated, so he won't be dealing very much damage at all. And then I get the first evasion drop. Or evasion boost, and then I get the second one. So this is going to be the most inaccurate Earthquake that you have ever seen in your entire life played in a Draft League match. I do realize that, you know, this is obviously a very cheesy way of playing the game, but I thought this was a very difficult matchup, and I thought this was going to be hypothetically legal, and I did want to bring it once either way. At this point, you might have seen from my last two videos that I have had a very dominant main season, so I have won actually every single game, and I am super guaranteed into playoffs. Now, this is going to be a long history of acupressure and earthquakes and stalling out this Swampert while constantly boosting myself even more. I did mention here that I am more than okay with taking an L if that was what they expected, but I wasn't sure if this was even legal. I believe he might mention something about it. Yeah, he didn't know he could even raise evasion, so you know, I'll take this L if that's what they decide to give to me, but I'm also more than okay. I would be very happy if I could also let Overqwil, you know, get any kills that it's able to get in this game. Now, this is going to be very long amount of acupressure in various turns. I actually stalled the Swampert out of its Earthquake, so it wouldn't be able to damage me anymore even if I wanted to. Now that I am +2 attack, I feel comfortable just continuously crunching. I could keep acupressuring, but I guess that technically risks... It doesn't really risk anything anymore, but like... I could keep acupressuring to get more attack boosts, but that feels like really BM and not necessary. So I just, you know, decide that I can start crunching. Even if he crit there, I do not believe he killed, although it might have been closer than I thought it would. Black Sludge is obviously helping me out a lot here, but you know, these crunches keep missing out on all these KOs, which is really funny to me. And you know, this is such a large sweep from Overqwil. There's nothing really you can really do about it. You know, I do feel like a little bad about it, but I also did double check with him or I tried to double check with the owners before I messaged one of the co-owners about it, see if he thought that it was legal, and he didn't get back to me. I thought I mentioned another one, he didn't get back to me. So, you know, it was completely lost in like discussion. But I mean, again, I did say if they deem this ban worthy, I think I'm more than okay with giving him the win. I thought I would have lost anyways, because, you know, his team's probably the worst one for me in the entire season. But, you know, Overqwil putting in the utmost amount of work and claiming 5 KOs this game. To tell you exactly what the history says for, or like, you know, what we did for this game here. Since acupressure is banned, he did decide that it was just going to be a 3-0 win for him, considered a forfeit win, which is fine by me. It really doesn't matter. The only thing I miss out on is a perfect season, technically, but I did win this, so in my heart, I did win this I did get this perfect season, despite, you know, the record saying otherwise. I also do kind of disagree with acupressure being banned. If you're not going to mention it in the rules alongside all of the other different boosts, like they specifically said minimize and double team. If you're going to just say no evasion, that's its own thing, you know, but you specified which 2 moves could not be used for evasion. So I don't necessarily feel bad about this. I am a little frustrated that it turned into a forfeit win, but we decided that Overqwil and all, like, you know, the kill records is going to remain the same. So Overqwil did get his 5 KOs this game, and Shaman got his 1 from killing Orthworm. So that's the end of this game. What this means is that I am top seed in playoffs for this draft league. Week 1 will be coming up very soon for playoffs, the quarterfinals. So hopefully I have a good showing in that game. It's going to be a rematch against Xe. So hopefully we can do well. Hopefully it's not in a live battle and it's actually an online competition for the extra long timer. And I hope I do well. Please like and subscribe if you're excited for more. Draft League content is coming at a more steadily pace, hopefully. And I'll hope to see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye.